Hello everybody, this is the first video on the Earth Soul YouTube channel. I'm Ego, and today we're just going to be talking about the your peer-to-peer loans, since I saw quite a few people were confused about them. So I just want to cover really kind of how to work out um, the best kind of loans for your money and also how to make money through them. So first we're just going to take an example here of this Blocksmith Labs. So I'm just going to take you through what everything means essentially. So this here is the your floor. If you didn't know already, you can choose the royalty fees that you pay back to the project. So generally, on decent projects, the floor will be slightly lower on your than it will be on me. So that's just what that is, the Magic Kingdom floor and the your floor. These are just the rarities. Obviously, they're never going to be exactly the same due to how rare and moonrank take different traits into account, and how they value each different trait. Collection size, self-explanatory really. That's just how big the collection size is. Now onto the more, I guess, complicated stuff. So the funding amount is how much you'll put up to get this, to secure the loan. That's how much they want to secure a loan. Keep in mind that this does actually take into account a 10% fee that that your does apply. So you will be paying 10% upfront. Although I'm almost 100% sure you don't get paid that back at the end. But we'll go on to that in a bit. The duration is simply the duration of the loan. Really not that complicated. The loan to floor is basically there. It's the loan amount, the floor amount divided by the loan amount times 100. So basically what it does, it gives you a good overview here of how much they're asking, and you can really kind of see the risk you're taking. So for example, this Tayo Robotics, the loan to floor is actually above 100%, which means they're asking for more than what the floor is currently worth. So personally, I would never touch anything with over 100%, because if you didn't already know, if a person who takes out a loan doesn't pay you back, you just get the NFT. Basically, that's held as collateral in an escrow. So if it's above 100%, what they can just do is not pay it back, and then you basically just bought the NFT for what you've funded them for. So in this case, you're paying almost 20 Sol over floor, so it's definitely not worth it. And if we go back to the example here, the APY is the annual percentage yield. So what returns it will give, like if you invested in this particular loan, how much it would return to you over the course of a year. To put things in perspective, if you invested in like the FTSE 500 or something similar, the APY would be around 4%. So you can really see that this is, a lot more. But obviously, you couldn't scale it up quite the same, since there aren't too many great offers. Now here is where you get onto the details of the actual loan. So the early repayment, how that works is, I believe the early repayment window is 30% of the duration. So it does fluctuate. So here it'll be 3 days, and obviously on something a bit longer it'll be 6.6 days. And what this works out is they will have to pay, I think, bare minimum 30% of the total interest, but it does actually scale linearly. Sorry, hard word to pronounce. So basically, what that means is that so let's say they pay on day 7 or day 8, you won't get this max return. You'll get, kind of however much that extra day would add on in terms of the percentage. So that is something to bear in mind. It's not, you either get the minimum or the maximum. You can get something in between these two numbers here. And then, so this is the total amount you get back after day 22. And that's the total amount you will be able to kind of profit. And that's your profit for giving this loan out if it is paid back at, at day 22 in this case, at the last day. Bear in mind there's also a 6-hour grace period after the loan. So basically, this will be basically they have 22 days and 6 hours to pay it back. So it's not spot on. No extra interest is collected during those 6 hours. It's just there in place to kind of prevent, soul crashing, and people not being able to make the repayment. Um, Now I'm gonna kind of explain how you can utilize this a bit more. So basically, obviously, I've gone over how you would profit from being a lending, being the lendee. Obviously, it's kind of simple. You can just see here are all the profits basically, and it kind of gives you a good summary here with the 30 days and whatnot. And then if you were to be the one actually listing it, and getting the loan, you can do kind of two really interesting things which we haven't really seen in the Solana space before. You can either A, basically short an NFT, and B, you can long an NFT, which again, no project has really given us the ability to do either of those things. So you may be saying, how would I short a project using this service? It's actually quite simple. So if you were to go to, say, I was the one holding this, what is it, monkey baby business, and the floor is 29. If I expect that to go down within the next 16 days, then this would be a really, really good way to cash in on that, because basically you're getting the loan amount now, um, and then obviously you can pay it back or not, essentially. And that's kind of where the shorting comes in. Is this guy here can take the 25, and if he thinks this number here is going to dip to say 20, if he just doesn't pay this back, say on day, I don't know, 14, it's under, it's sitting at around 20 sold floor price. He can just not pay it back, and the person who did the loan will just get this NFT in return. And that's kind of the risk when you do a loan. So what you really want to do, if you're in the position to hand out loans, is kind of pick good projects which you think may actually go up in the kind of the near future, kind of within the loan duration period. Obviously, something like DGods is probably a safe bet here. You're paying 72%, so worst comes to worst, they don't pay it back. You have a lot of room there to make some money. And then in terms of longing it, what you can do is kind of the same thing. So you can get money back now. So you give them money. Sorry, you collect the money, the funding, and then if it does go up, you can obviously just pay it back. The small amount of interest, of however much interest you did set on that individual loan, and you can pay it back, and therefore you would have actually paid a much, yeah, kind of, you get the liquidity from the NFT, and you also see the upsides of the market. And again, it can be both ways. So you can really utilize this if you know what you're doing, definitely. And if we see here, it actually has kind of taken off a little bit. I've personally done a couple of these. I'm not sure which ones I personally funded, but a couple of these Gothic degens I did, because if we go on to one of them, see, this gives a really good example of what I would assume is a good opportunity here. So the me floor price is currently 19, with the yaw only being 0.1 lower. So obviously that doesn't really mean much. Obviously the rarity realistically doesn't mean all too much. Obviously, if you have the choice in between loaning to, like, say, rank 9,000 or rank 1,000, always go for lower one, since it will probably be easier to sell at floor. But honestly, just don't, unless it's like a really high rank, you don't really need to take these into account. So this guy asked for 14, and obviously with a 10% fee, it comes to 14.14. And if you look here, the APY is over 400%. So what that means is, if you could theoretically, if this exact same offer came up every 7 days, you would over four times your money within a year. And as you can see, the return is 1.26 SOL. For 7 days, that's a really good bargain. That's really good returns. And worst case scenario, in fact, it would be a better case scenario, is they don't pay back the loan, and then you basically get, a 5 SOL discount, on the floor here, and even the yield floor is keeping up pretty well. Obviously, Gothic Degens right now is a really high project. They have some announcements coming very shortly. I've heard that they potentially are going to be partnering with Primates. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on the peer-to-peer loan system of your. I think people can definitely utilize this in a lot of different ways, and I hope this video shed a little bit of light for some people. And yeah, thank you for watching.